All right. Hello, everyone, and happy HR month. You can type on the chat and say happy HR month. I hope that you're enjoying yourself and you're making a difference. And you are also trying to become a creative leader and also innovator because that is the theme for HR Month 2024. And I hope that you're impacting lives in your societies and you're also supporting other professionals, the young professionals. I hope that you're engaging with them and you're also, for this month, if you had nothing, you're not doing anything. This month, I think you can also dedicate a few minutes to just support the young professionals who are coming up as we celebrate HR month. It's time for corporate social responsibility, and IHRM is celebrating HR month, and therefore we are also celebrating HR month from a member's point of view. And yes, for those in Kampala, yes, July is HR month, as our forefathers came up with the month from the Institute of Human Resource Management here in Kenya. And so you're all welcome to celebrate with us HR month. I know those from Kampala, you're having your sports day coming up. I know the Tanzania Association of HR is also having sports day coming up. IHRM has their sports day on the 3rd of August. So it seems like it's a month for celebration. It's a month to be happy. It's a month to check on your wellness. And that is very, very important. So happy HR month to all of you. And thank you for putting it on the chat as well. So my name is Grace Nzula, if you're joining us for the first time today. And I don't know what's happening here. So, okay. Yeah, I was wondering what's happening on YouTube. Yeah, so my name is Grace Nzula. I'm an HR consultant with Atara Solutions. And I've seen somebody asking what informed HR month. I think HRM had done a write-up on that and shared on the charts. I think it was started way before when as soon as the act came to being. It is just a month dedicated for corporate social responsibility and giving back to society technically. So yeah, my name is Grace Nzula, and you're tuned in to Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Get It Right with Atara Solutions is a webinar series that seeks to demystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. We are here every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., where we seek to discuss different topics, diverse from HR, supporting HR profession, to supporting entrepreneurs, to supporting marketers, to supporting procurement, to supporting accountants, to supporting the world generally, because we want to demystify everything that affects employment and employers or entrepreneurship. So that's why we started Get It Right with the Tara Solutions. We're on a mission to change the world through information. And of course, we don't do this by ourselves. We have partners who support us and enable us to actually keep going, because sometimes it's really difficult keeping up with these Tuesday sessions every Tuesday. So we have partners who really support us and believe in the vision, and they work with us. So we have Pathway Solution Services. We have Nile Front Cottages. Nile Front Cottages are cottages located in Jinja, Uganda. If you're from Uganda, or you're Kenyan, or you're Tanzanian, or whatever country you're coming from, or you want to take a vacation, vacation, solocation, whatever vacation you want to take. And for those of you who are getting married, because I am made to believe that people are still getting married and going for honeymoon. Nile Front Cottages is a good destination to take for your honeymoon. If you're coming from Kenya, you can actually, it's about 2 hours drive from Busia border. So you can actually drive down. I know Liz is here. Liz, now that you're in Siaya, you can actually take a drive down to Ginger and visit Nile Front Cottages. They are so beautiful. They have the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises. Imagine the location, you can actually switch to one window and watch a sunset, and the other window you can watch the sunrise. It's such an amazing place. And then we have Elsamere. Elsamere is a hotel located in Naivasha. Again, it's one of the most serene places I've been to. They actually have tea and snacks throughout the day. So if you're just in Naivasha and you want to take a break and just want to see what they have to offer, please do. Take your 2 hours, go visit, see the environment, and then you can plan to take your holiday and take the entire family or your personal person. You can actually go on holiday. The most beautiful part is you can actually see the lake from all the rooms. So you just need to draw your curtain and the huge glass windows and doors give you an amazing view of the of Lake Naivasha. So it's really, really beautiful. And then we have steadfast quality. No, before steadfast, we have labor planet. Labor Planet for your all your manpower outsourcing services. If you deal with casuals or you deal with the high labor intensity organizations and you want to outsource part of your labor, you need to actually get in touch with Labor Planet because they actually offer those services. They are our amazing partners, and we thank you, Cicely, for being an amazing partner with Atara Solutions. And then we also have Steadfast Quality Solutions. Steadfast Quality Solutions is an organization that is located in Uganda, Kampala. Now, Steadfast Quality Solutions is a HR, PR, and corporate governance consultancy firm, which is based in Uganda and supports organizations across the region. They also they do board trainings and board evaluations. They do leadership training and executive coaching. And Herbert Zake, my good friend Herbert Zake, who runs this organization, is the certified Gallup Clifton strength coach, who has coached over 500 senior executives across the globe. So, Herbert, we appreciate your partnership. Thank you very much. So, if you want to discover your strengths, please let's get in touch with Herbert. And of course, for all your board trainings, board evaluations, all your leadership trainings and coaching as well, then Steadfast Quality Solutions offer that from their head offices in Kampala, Uganda, and they are our partners. And then we have K-Square HR Services. It's a HR consulting company based in Kigali, Rwanda. If you're looking for services, for HR services around Kigali, Rwanda, then K-Square HR Services will be your people, your partners of choice. So if you're here and you're wondering how to get in touch with Rwanda, we can actually link you up. Kampala, we can actually link you up and you can be able to also sort out your process flow. Then we have Essence Park, we have Kapula Mintito, we have Vanessa Training Institute, we have Wicklin, we have Festac Africa Festival, and then we have Profiles International. Now, Profiles International are the only people who offer emotional intelligence coach by Genos. So if you want to become an emotional intelligence coach, you need to take your lessons with Profiles International. And it's an amazing session. I did my first class today, and I can tell you I am already excited to see what the next 6 weeks are all about. It goes deeper than the emotional intelligence that we just know and we train every other day. It goes deeper and you get to explore quite a lot for yourself as a person and also for your teams. If you're team leaders, then Genos Emotional Intelligence Certification course is amazing for you. So Profiles International, if you want to have more details, please get in touch with me and I'll link you up with them, among other services that they offer. And then we have this training coming up. This is by Atara Solutions, your legal edge employment contract management. Please sign up for this training. It's going to be an amazing session on the 8th of August from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. That will be on a Thursday. You are only going to do this for 2,800. And yes, we are offering a certificate. And also you get 1 CPD point up and over and above the learnings that you take home. If you've heard Kenyan Jui speak, you know that he does not mince words when it comes to your legal edge. So please join us on the 8th of August from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. This will be a virtual session for only 2,800. You get 1 CPD point and you also get a certificate. And then you get to learn a lot. And then we have, I don't know whether you've seen this, we have the African Human Resource Summit, which is taking place in Kigali, Rwanda on the 21st to 23rd of August. You can see Madam Kuresha is one of our speakers there. We have Lawrence Dombi, we have Rachel Dimba, we have Stephen Karangwa. All these guys are from the entire Africa and they will be in Kigali at the Kigali Convention Center where this will be taking place. So please sign up and get to explore a bit of the East African region. Rwanda is one of the cleanest cities that we have in the East African region. So it's amazing that you visit and actually witness a place where rules actually work. So we would wish to welcome you for those 2 sessions. And welcome everyone. I see somebody saying it's their first time to be here. Welcome. We do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We will be sharing our WhatsApp group, and you can actually join the WhatsApp group and get to know what else we're discussing every Tuesday. So at this point in time, we are looking at a culture of productivity today. And it's an amazing session today because we have my good friend, Mwenda. Mwenda, I cannot believe the P stands for what, but I learned that the other day, and he has been my friend for years. I normally just call him by his 2 African names. So, Mwenda, welcome. It's an honor to have you tonight. And please tell us, as HR professionals, how do we create a culture of productivity? Mwenda, take it away.
Thank you, Grace, and hi everyone. Very excited to be here. I think I can have my video on before I switch it off so that I do not experience any technical hitches. I am very excited to be here. Professionals and every other person that has joined this evening. It is a great honor to be your your speaker this evening. And as Grace has mentioned, I have been a friend of Atara Solutions for a long time. And I know that this evening we are going to learn together a few things, a few thoughts that I will share this evening with all of us about culture, and particularly developing a productive culture within our organization. Allow me to have my video off so that then I can share the screen and we proceed from there. Grace, you can confirm that you can see my screen?
I can. Please put it on full screen.
Yes. Great. So thank you very much. And again, welcome to this wonderful forum that happens every Tuesday with Atara Solutions. And today we are going to look at developing a productive organizational culture. In the few minutes I have, then we will have a time to ask questions. Now, maybe we can, I know everybody has their own thoughts about what culture is in their organization. Culture, of course, is taken to an organization by people. Let's just look at the outline that we are going to talk about today. I'll give a context of culture and how powerful a culture can be, the levels, the culture iceberg, culture influencers, and the strategies or initiatives to develop a productive culture. I believe the time we have, of course, this is in a very summarized form because this is something that we can discuss for a whole day. Now, a productive culture is the spine or backbone of a successful organization. I know each and every one of us seated or watching from wherever in Kampala, in the US, in the UK, and in Russia, you have your own spine as a person. Culture being a spine or the spine or a backbone of a successful organization. I am a biochemist. Let me talk about a spine a little bit, just to give it perspective, how important a culture can be in an organization. Spine is one of the most important parts of our bodies. And I believe if you're seated, it's actually because your spine is functional. If you're standing, it is because your spine is functional. You cannot keep yourself upright. You cannot stand. You cannot have a proper body structure if you do not have a spine and you don't have support. Your spine or backbone allows you to move about freely and be able to bend with flexibility. Now, and when I'm talking about this spine, that is the importance. The importance of culture is how your spine is important to you as a person. The spine is designed to protect your spinal cord. Now, when we talk about culture being the spine or backbone of a successful organization, it actually means without a proper culture, an organization cannot function properly. Just like if you don't have a spine, you will not be able to stand upright, stand, walk, bend freely, and do your own things. What personality is to an individual is what culture is to an organization. Your personality is a combination of traits, characteristics, qualities that make you a distinctive person, individual, different from the other. And your characteristics, behavior that comprise of your unique adjustment to life, your traits that make you get some drives to do something, that live for some values, and self-concept. And of course, self-concept being knowing yourself, the knowledge of who you are, your thoughts and feelings. So what personality is to me is what culture is to an organization. It is the uniqueness in you. Every organization has its own unique culture. There cannot be a duplication or you copy your culture in organization A and take it to organization B and it works. A few elements of culture can be borrowed, but you cannot copy paste culture. Businesses can steal products from each other, but it's very difficult to steal culture or to copy culture 100%. So culture gives you leverage as a business. That's why it is very, very important for people, leaders in organizations to give culture attention. Culture is the unique DNA of an organization. Of course, we have had DNA tests, DNA examination to confirm the actual identity of someone, because DNA is a molecule that carries hereditary information about an organism. The uniqueness of culture differentiates an organization and can be the source of win or success for an organization. Unfortunately, the opposite is also true, that you can have your organization failing because of culture. By aligning company values with employees' behavior, organizations can cultivate a unified and purpose-driven work culture. And that unified purpose-driven culture is what attracts and retains top talent. Think for a minute. Have you ever been in a setup where there are many people, but you find someone's personality makes you feel attracted to them? You look at a person, they talk, they behave in a certain way, and you say, this is a pleasant personality. I wouldn't mind having such a friend or having a conversation with this person. It is that culture, the personality of an organization that attracts and retains top talent. Research everywhere speaks volumes. It has consistently highlighted a significant shift that people care more about workplace culture than salaries. Unfortunately, leaders and organizational leadership may be focusing so much on compensation, but research has shown that people are more caring or careful about. Their attention is more towards workplace culture than salaries or pay. The question is, why aren't more organizations or companies prioritizing workplace culture? MIT, Glassdoor, and Deloitte, they have all said that company culture is more important than pay. And according to 2021 workplace survey by Glassdoor, over half of the 5,000 respondents responded by saying company culture is more important than salary when it comes to their job satisfaction. Then the question is, if for sure company culture is important, are we giving it the attention it deserves? Are we giving it the attention it deserves or requires? Let's reflect on these questions. How then do we drive the right culture in our organizations if culture is more important than compensation, than pay? How do we get buy-in from the executive? And how do we change mindset of our people in the organizations? What actually makes, and I've interacted or had conversations with a few HR professionals, that the question number 2, buy-in from the executives, is what does not come forth as expected. Either because the executive or the leadership of the organization does not see its importance, but maybe this is where we need to get it right. Organization culture eats strategy for breakfasts, and I would add lunch and dinner as well. Peter Drucker said these words sometimes back, but I also dare say that strategy must bend into culture or else it will break. Strategy must bend to get the shape of the culture within that a particular organization. Because culture will eat change, completely crush it, and it won't happen. Culture will ensure no growth. And when I say that, the opposite is also true. Good culture will facilitate change. Good culture will facilitate growth. Good culture will ensure innovation is everywhere in organization, and performance will be high performance, and the execution will be seamless and faultless. Bad culture, unfortunately, will crush all this Every business strategy is to ensure that there is growth, either profitability, client base, market share, but a bad culture will make that not happen. So organization culture eats strategy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In terms of levels of culture, when you visit an organization, there are things you see. There are things you hear people saying or stating values. Leaders will actually, in their speeches, will say how their culture is good, their processes are great. You look at overt behaviors, things that cannot be concealed. They are obvious. They can be seen right from the door. There is another level where strategic goals, core values, philosophies, and measures are mentioned everywhere on the wall hangings. They are there. And then the other level is underlying beliefs and assumptions. What is it that make organizations believe or have the core values they have, and therefore develop the processes they develop? The underlying beliefs may not be seen readily when you visit an organization. People may not see or be able to tell what your assumptions are that led to the philosophies you have as an organization, and therefore contributing to the unconcealable behaviors that customers will see when they visit an organization. The other day, someone visited our offices and said, I have realized that male employees are saying hi, but female employees are not saying hi to customers. And I asked how many female employees passed without saying hi and how many male. Apparently 2 male employees and 1 female employee. Of course, that is not data you can really tell, but it is feedback. When people see these behaviors, what do they communicate to them as to your culture as an organization? Let's look at the culture iceberg. Now, culture iceberg, when there are things people say and can be seen, there are other things that organizations do and people may not readily see them. If you look at this picture and you count the verbs, the nouns that are listed there, you will find 80% almost is actually not seen, invisible. And 20% is what people see. The question is, as much as what people see may be your guiding principles, but what people do not see could be your influencers of your culture. The question is, how do you ensure that the influencers of your culture are working together with the guiding principles so that what we say and what we do are in concurrence? So that in your organization, you do not say one thing and then do a different. In fact, this is where we would say, drink water, talk about water, drink it. Do not talk about water and drink wine. The culture iceberg, very, very important. What you need to understand here is what influences our behavior. What are the underlying assumptions? What are our underlying beliefs as an organization? If you look at from the iceberg, I can tell you and summarize it this way. Culture is the leadership behavior. The way the leaders in an organization will behave because of the status of their office, the visibility of their offices, 70% leadership influence culture. And 30% just organizational levers that we talk about, the training programs, the communication, the physical environment, physical amenities, career paths, performance management, reward and recognition. All these, they are very, very important, and we must do them and do them effectively. However, what actually over and above all this, what influences the organization culture is the behavior of leadership. The trust, and trust is measured by what people say and what they do. The moment people see a clash as a leader, if I say one thing and I do something different, trust is lost, and therefore people will start doing their own things because they have been influenced by the mistrust. Commitment of leadership. Leadership energy will cascade down to the employees in the hierarchy of the organization. If leadership is not consistent in what they do, they say one thing, they do it once, then after that, they continue with their own traditions. Yet there is a culture direction that has been agreed upon, or there's a policy to be followed. There's a process to be followed. There is no consistency in this process. There is no role modeling. If there is no role modeling in leadership, do not expect junior staff. Let me use an example. Leadership saying in this place we are prompt, we are agile, we respond with speed, we answer all questions. You write to me, I respond immediately. That is just saying. The moment it is not delivered, then it will be tumepanga, tumetenga. %30 organizational levers, 70% leadership. So the question is, where do we need to put more effort for us to succeed in developing the culture we want to see and that allows our staff members to be productive in our organizations? How can we develop a productive culture in our organization? I'll share a few thoughts. These are just some of the initiatives we can have and make them live and active in our organizations to help us develop a productive organizational culture. Build shared values and purpose. The question is, how can organizations build or drive core values? Right from the strategic philosophies, right from the mission, the vision, how can the organization drive core values? Now, values is the how. The core values is the how. And if you look at when an organization is coming up with their strategy, the values is what helps a certain function do its work, whether it is being ethical, being responsive, being empathetic. If their strategies have not inculcated values, then definitely there will be no cascading of these values. And one way of doing this is having pillars around each value, anchoring these values, so that what I know as what if one of the values is, for instance, integrity, do I have the same understanding of what integrity means? And as the other employee who sits in a different department, do they have the same understanding what innovation means? Because innovation can mean something or two different things to two different people, depending on what the organization wants the employees to learn. So one of the ways, as you drive core values right from the strategic mission, vision, is ensuring that you anchor those values. Have some descriptors. This is what we mean when we say being empathetic, when we say being innovative, when we say being professional. This is exactly what we mean. So that your office in Tanzania and your office in Rwanda have the same shared understanding of that value. That way, you will help build a shared value, and each employee will have their purpose. And every employee understanding that their contribution is significant and has impact in the direction of the organization. People who have a sense of purpose as employees, knowing that my work contributes this, will be more motivated than people who do not have that kind of understanding. Number two, leaders should exemplify these values. And this is through their actions and in their decision making. If we are talking about being professional and a leader is not being professional, then they are not exemplifying these values in their actions. If they are making decisions around one staff member, it cannot be on the same issue, a different decision is made. So exemplifying these values should be done through the actions and through the decisions of leaders. Number three, fostering open communication. And I would add open, prompt, and genuine communication. Not communication to tick a box. Do we have a way of allowing employees to express their ideas and concerns? What platforms have we given them? And when they communicate through these platforms, what actions do we take? What actions does the leadership take after they receive this feedback from employees? The other area, the other initiative you can take is breaking down silos. Of course, silos, especially interdepartmental silos, can actually derail an organization's strategy of growth. And ensuring that a customer in this department is also a customer in this other department, so that no single department says that was your client. It's not our client. As long as it's the same organization, ensure that you encourage cross-functional collaboration so that you break down the departmental silos or whatever other silos. They could be even intersubsidiary silos, interdivisional silos, intersectional silos. They should be broken down to ensure that people are collaborating. They are complementing each other. When a customer visits this section, that should have the same experience as the other section or department. The next initiative, ladies and gentlemen, is you develop a shared sense of purpose. I said earlier, a staff member who has a sense of purpose why they are in that particular organization, ensuring that the goal of the organization is a shared goal. An employee, as they make their contribution, they can see that they are also doing something for themselves. When that happens, it motivates employees and aligns their individual goals with company objectives. And so a staff member will feel ownership, and they will stop saying, I work for Atara Solution, and they will say, I work with Atara Solution, because it's partnership and ownership has been achieved. Number two, I will look at how do you then empower employees? How would you provide empowerment to your employees? One is giving them autonomy and ownership. Ownership of their work. Let the leadership allow staff members to be autonomous, to have autonomy. And when they have autonomous in their work, when they have autonomy in their work, ladies and gentlemen, these staff members will be more creative, will be more innovative, and the results will be growth. I am told, I think it's Google that has allowed the employees to do things, to just go to whatever corner in the organization or wherever they want to produce. I know we are not yet there in many organizations, but when you give employees autonomy in their work, this autonomy will give you very, very creative products and services that will attract more clients. It will encourage innovation and feedback. When you implement recognition programs and reward programs for some creativity that has come out of the autonomy and ownership you gave to your employees, what it does, it increases the number of creativity that is coming forth. And you will soon realize that you need to actually have an innovation hub, because the innovation products, the innovation that is coming up requires more people to be given space. And therefore, it becomes a good problem for you as an organization. The other thing in empowering your employees, ladies and gentlemen, is that you encourage open dialogue and feedback loops. Someone was telling me the other day that in my organization, town hall is no longer working. And I was asking, why is your town hall not working? What elements do you think are not working? And one of the things I shared as a thought is that ask your staff member, just come up with a survey. Ask them what kind of engagement, which channel of engagement they would be happy with. And you can provide several of them, and town hall being one of them, and look at how town hall scores. If they don't want it, then change it to what they want, because what you want is engagement. And if engagement is not, according to them, is not happening at the town hall, leave it. It is what works for you. And as I said earlier, culture is unique to each organization. Something may work for me, something may not work for you. Number 3, building a sense of belonging. How do you create a welcoming and inclusive environment? And particularly environment that values diversity and fosters respect. Because these days, employees are not just looking at the physical amenities. Mutual respect is very, very key. Actually, one of the things, the respect here, one of the things I saw something. I was today in the office, and honestly speaking, I picked something that really made me, got me thinking. I think kwa ufupi, let me say, sisi pia tumefikiwa na Gen Z. Because I saw a writing in our lift, and I could not believe that, of course, whatever was written, I picked it so that we analyze it and see, is this feedback? When employees have not been given proper channels of raising their concerns to foster continuous improvement, they can be creative, and their creativity can be counterproductive. Then you must ensure that you have an environment that is welcoming and inclusive, and that it values employees, diversity, and fosters respect. It will not be long before whatever is happening in our country visits our organization, if it has not already happened. HR professionals, you mutaanza kusalimiwa. So you must be ready. You must be ready. How do you support your employees' wellness? How do you create employee wellness programs and initiatives that will support their work-life balance? When COVID came, it taught us many things. And one of the things I picked, one young man told me, now this issue of working in shifts, 2 weeks I'm in the office, 2 weeks I'm not. I think I want to continue working from home throughout. And I asked him why. Because I do not want to continue paying the fare I pay to come here, unless you want to be paying, the company can pay fare for me. I don't know. Going forward, you will start receiving such requests. Who will pay fare for me? I want to work from home. Do you want to see my face, or you want to see my work? Wellness programs. And as they work from home, for instance, how do you ensure that their wellness is taken care of? Does the wellness program also include ensuring that their mental wellness is good, even when they are at home? If someone slips and falls and gets injured, how do you treat that? They are working from home and they have been injured. Their well-being, their work-life balance. This way, you will be building a sense of belonging. Create an organization that enhances psychological safety. In fact, the other day, I received a call from some of the mentees I have in the profession, and told me my boss is affecting my mental wellness. I feel if I continue this way, nitachizi. In fact, that is the word he used. Nitachizi. My supervisor is toxic, and this toxic thing, when you unpack it, it is there. They want a certain way that maybe the clash in generations in the workplace. You need to address it so that it doesn't affect productivity that you're looking for. Creating a space for employees to be their authentic self, not pretending to be who they are not. And especially the young people in the organization, they are actually so real. They are so real. Whatever is in their heart, in their mind, is what they say. What you do with whatever they tell you, it is not their business. And they actually sometimes say it that way. Improve team bonding, not just team bonding must start from the office before people go out for any outdoor activities. For people to feel I am wanted here. How do we have inclusion, diversity, and equity? I read a research by Deloitte where they said, apart from gender or age diversity, there is something they are calling cognitive diversity. And an organization that has cognitive diversity and gives it attention is more likely 27% to be more productive than an organization that does not give cognitive diversity attention. Cognitive diversity is having people with different reasoning abilities, different IQ levels, different intelligent levels, and ensuring that any team, especially project teams, they have cognitive diversity. That way, you are assured of projects being delivered in time and in the quality that you're looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, a company's culture is the foundation for future innovation. An entrepreneur's job is to build that foundation. So Brian Chelsky says, company culture is the foundation and encourages all entrepreneurs to build that foundation. Now, for those who have been keen when there's a construction happening, foundation is the most important part of a construction. And when you look at the foundation, the way the foundation is done, you know the kind of a building that is coming up. You can easily tell. So Brian says, a company's culture is the foundation for future innovation. If the culture is not good, then you cannot build innovation in future for your particular organization. I want to leave us with these reflections, and maybe we take a few questions. Separate culture guiding principles with key influencers. The culture iceberg. People in the organization don't care about what you say. They observe what is happening, and they will tell you what is happening. It's not about what is wrong, but what is missing in what you're saying you will do. Context, ladies and gentlemen, is everything. What works for you today may not work for you tomorrow. Even if it worked yesterday, it may not work for you tomorrow. The thing is changing your workplace, your work, and the worker. www. Establish a culture that is an enabler for you to have a sustainable productivity. And you must disrupt yourself by remaking yourself as a person and as an organization. You must change your mindset. You must drop what is not happening, and you must embrace something new. Build shared values and purpose. Empower your employees. Build a sense of belonging. Give your employees an experience so that we don't just talk about customer experience, but your employees also need experience. Back to you, Grace.
Thank you for that insightful and wonderful conversation, Mwenda. That was quite an eye-opener and a good reminder of how we should treat our culture and how we should set up. But I have seen some quite interesting conversations on the chat. Somebody says some supervisors are not only toxic, but suffer psychological challenges and they project that to their employees. That one needs to undertake the emotional intelligence course by Profiles International to be able to manage the emotions and not project to other people. There's somebody who's saying nowadays we only have managers, not leaders, and are only concerned about numbers. They don't care about employees. That's also another context. Somebody says managers have forgotten about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which has since changed, by the way. It's no longer the way it used to be before that. I've seen quite a number of requests for the presentation. Unfortunately, we are not able to share that, but we have recorded this session. And if you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll be able to receive, to be able to follow through. And you can listen again and again and again. You can follow the presentation because the screen was shared, and you can also develop your own notes while at it, so that then you can also have something applicable. So now on to questions. We can do that quickly because I can see we are also running short of time. Irene Kimbawa says, my concern is why some people think they give orders for their desire. Why some people think when they give orders for their desires that they have communicated. Why do people give orders and think they have communicated? That is a concern. And somebody is saying, how are benefits part of company culture? How are staff benefits? I hope so. I don't know whether you can note that, Mwenda. How are staff benefits part of culture, combined with why do people think that they have communicated by sharing their desires?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Grace. Maybe I can take the first three questions. There's one of, I think, where the leaders are suffering from is it psychological disorder or something?
Yeah.
What I have seen, and maybe in my number of many years of interacting with staff and also supervisors, because as you grow, you experience so many supervisors. And I totally, I relate with that person who said, because in early days of my career, I actually could not believe that people can treat others the way I met people treating me when I was growing. But what I learned is before I look at what is happening on the other side, there's something called self-awareness, and it really helped me. When you are working with someone you think they are toxic, because work has brought you together, and as long as you're working together, as long as you're in that particular organization and in that particular department, you will continue working with that person. The question is, do I still want to continue working here with this person, or I need to look out? If I need to continue working here, how do I work on my emotions so that then I focus on work and not on the other person's behavior? And self-awareness and self-regulation has really worked wonders for me. And I started now understanding why sometimes, because when you do self awareness, some reflection on yourself, your emotions, and you're able to regulate them, you're able to manage others. Because when they start saying whatever they say, you don't follow what they are saying. You control yourself and you continue working until such a time that your time is up there and you move to the next assignment. Nature cannot be that unkind to move you from one toxic person to the next. But that has been my experience. You may get one or two, but out of four, you may just have one, and the three are good. And also ask yourself, what is it that I am not? What can I change? What can I change as a person so that I am also helping my boss? And sometimes confront tell the person that this what you're doing is this is how it is doing to me, and it's affecting my work in this way. You will have done something. Of course, that requires some level of maturity. It is not easy, even if I'm saying that it's not easy. Staff benefit, yes, staff benefit is part of culture. When I say give employees an experience is both monetary and non-monetary. An experience is how you made me feel when you served me. If, for instance, you appreciate there's a recognition and reward, and that where you have compensation, salaries, all those monetary and non-monetary. That benefits are part of the culture, because culture, we said, is the backbone. And where employees feel they are valued, then they are paid well, or their benefits speak into them, that they can see that they are being recognized for the value they are adding. They will become more productive. So you cannot have a culture without a culture that does not have benefits in it, because the recognition, rewards, experience, employee experience is part of culture. I think I have exhausted that, Grace.
Yeah.
Any other?
Yeah, there are quite a number of questions, so you may need to be straight to the point in the answers. Yeah, somebody is saying, how can we evaluate culture, or what are some of the ways we can do a culture survey? And how do we know that this is a good culture and this is a negative culture?
Yeah, definitely negative culture is what makes you get tired. You feel you can't be creative. You're not delivering what you need to deliver. You feel you're always stressed. That is not a good culture. But how to you need to assess your current culture. You can use an employee survey to assess the climate, understand your current cultural landscape, and you can pick some of the things in your engagement survey. And once you do that, then you ask yourself, how do I define the values or what I want to see going forward, especially people who are not being very direct in or intentional in their culture transformation. Define your values and create pillars, culture pillars, and then anchor them, create descriptions so that each person understands, if this is what we need to do, or this is how we need to live, then this is what it means. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another question that I think has been asked in the same way by different people. There's one who says, what of a company that does not have a budget for wellness programs? Some employees don't even get private health insurance. And then maybe you can answer that one, because the next one we are combining three in one.
Okay. So my quick response to that would be, when of course it's unfortunate they do not have private cover, but what I have done is talk to people. If you have an insurance, even if it is not a private cover, those who have cover, make it a value add to on your insurance, whether it's group life or GPA, whatever it is. Make sure that it is the person who is providing that service comes as with a value add to give you wellness talks and wellness engagements, and so that you then benefit from that relationship, not just paying money and you're not benefiting from it.
All right. And then there's this question from Judith, which is combined with a number of them, complete with this one from anonymous attendee. I happen to work in an organization where there's a lot of negativity and backbiting. If you just came in as a leader, what is the remedy for that? And I think that one is combined with another question here. My question, would you advise a HR professional to transform an organization culture that has deteriorated back to its old or worse toxic form Yet some mileage had been achieved at the beginning of the culture transition plan after an assessment was done and findings demand change, which have failed to pick up despite all avenues taken to transform. It's like status quo is okay for most. It's honestly draining to walk that journey as an HR legacy is key. So that is on change management. And then how do you initiate change to a better culture in an environment where founders have previously supported a toxic culture, may not know better? That's again on change. And then if management is disorganized, is there hope for changing the culture? I worked in an organization where no one in management saw eye to eye and only got together when the CEO is around. That and combining with Judith's question on how do you break the silos. So you can answer how do you manage the change transition when management is not supportive, and again, how do you break the silos?
I think that we maybe I can take 2 minutes to combine that. I know I was responding direct, but for that is an issue of a culture. You need a culture transformation program where people are backbiting, they are not seeing eye to eye, they are pretending when the leader is there. That was what I was saying. There are things that you see, but there are things that happen. There's a difference. But for me, I would just mention two, maybe four steps for culture transformation, so that you can pick what works for you. You may be at maybe a second stage. You can be at a third stage. You can start from scratch. But number one, you must be able to look at the diagnose all the problems you're seeing. The question you ask yourself as a professional is, what target culture do I want as a professional? I have come, yes, this is the confusion I'm seeing. But because I have come, I must try my level best. Define the target culture you want, and for sure, you must align that culture with the strategy. If the strategy is to grow or to do whatever it is, any initiative must be aligned with the strategy so that it can get the buy-in and the support from the top. Because the moment you define and you do not align with the strategy, then you won't get support from the executive. As I said, you must get a buy-in. Then you look at the company. What are the goals? How can I tie up? This is the culture I want. Maybe a culture of respect, collaboration, and teamwork, whatever it is, because you must come up with a culture statement that combines all the things, you don't want to see, providing solution in that particular statement. Number two, then you ask yourself, what culture do I have today and why? And that one you can do via survey. Do a culture assessment, do a survey, so that you understand why you have the confusion you're seeing. Once you do that, then identify in that survey the elements of culture you must deal with immediately. The quick wins you need to do. What do I need to do? And then number four, this ensuring that this happens, you create a matrix so that then you're able to, and every stage of this step, the four steps I've mentioned, you must have buy-in from the leadership, ensuring that the CEO has agreed with you and they can see the benefit because of how you will package the request. He must see the benefit to the organization, and then he must sell it to the team that reports to him, who are your peers. That way, you will not have a problem in execution because the visible team will be the one talking about it. It may not be easy, but it is the way to go.
Yeah.
Grace?
Yes. I'm just trying to read a comment here. Kindly expound on that in circumstances where top leadership is the one emanating negative behavior through insults and vulgar language.
Okay. I can respond to that as we check for another.
Yes, you can do that. And then how do you ensure new hires acclimatize well to the company culture? You can combine those two.
Okay. Let me start with the new hires. New hires, of course, the entire program of onboarding. When you're bringing someone, ensure that in your onboarding or orientation program, you have certain things you would want them to pick immediately that will help them get inculcated in the culture. That way, you help them to settle faster, and so that you achieve your metrics of time to proficiency. Because the shorter the time to proficiency you have, the better you have in terms of getting value from a new hire. If a new hire has a long time to proficiency means the time it takes for someone to settle down and start adding value and performing, discharging their mandate. If it is shorter, the better, and it is shortened by how you orientate the person, your onboarding process. Do not have your new employees come and start reading newspapers from morning until 12, then you tell them go for lunch, then you come. You are actually now, you're not helping. The other question is about if the senior people are the ones. This is confrontation. You confront it. Confront it. I have done it before. Listening how the meeting is going on, and a senior person is the person who is chairing the meeting, the language they are using, respectively after the meeting. I found this and this not useful, especially because of our code of conduct. And you must have those certain sections that they violated, but how the approach you give it will help you to succeed, or will make you be thrown out of that office. It is the approach, and you must be bold enough to face that. Grace?
Right. There's another follow-up. All that the person who was saying about the change that was effective, then it has stalled. He's saying all that has and was taken into implementation plan. However, some of the leaders themselves are some of the instigators of status quo.
Sorry, Grace, I don't know whether it's my network. I am losing you.
Oh, I'm saying the person who had asked about the culture change that they had
I am
started.
losing you, Grace.
All right. Catherine, confirm you can hear me? Sidandi? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's
Maybe
probably
it could be
end,
my network.
but I can hear you, Mwenda.
Okay, so it's the question I didn't hear.
The person who had asked about the change that they were trying to make and then it has stalled, said that the answer you gave, they had put all those considerations in place, but the leadership is the one, some of the leaders are the ones who are instigators of the status quo.
And this is what I said. In summary, culture is the behavior of leaders. 70% of the influencers of culture is leadership, or even more. It could be 80%. If the leaders are not ready for the change, it will not happen. If the buy-in has not been achieved at the executive level, I can guarantee you change will not happen. Culture change will not happen. Transformation will not be achieved. There must be a buy-in. And that buy-in must be the way, definitely it has to be the executive or the CEO must see the value of what you want to do. And the way sometimes we argue our papers, Let us not propose a HR solution to whatever problem. Let us propose a business solution from our HR expertise perspective. That way it will not be called ile hii kitu ya HR anasema sijui kama munaelewa. It is si ile kitu ya HR. It is actually a business solution the HR person is presenting. That way it is likely to get the buy-in. But without the buy-in, it will not happen.
Yeah. And I think maybe Mwenda, I can add to that. There is also what we call segment intending. You package your change processes into small bites. You know, I've seen somebody else saying that the leadership will side with you when you're together, and then when it comes to changes, then they still go back to siding with the employees. Sometimes you just choose small bites of the change that you want to see. You know, if you want to change the way you want to change your culture, and you realize there's some bottlenecks. Sometimes you just decide this is the one thing that I'm going to focus on. And then you just change that one thing that is within your control that does not involve all the other managers. Slowly. And then sometimes you also don't get stuck up in the frustrations when it comes to change. Change is a lot and it can really eat you up. So I hope that the professionals on this call, as you carry out your change processes, you're also doing self-care because it can actually drain you. It can finish you completely. You can go into depression because you're trying to do a change process in an organization. So the way we say that when you're managing change, you need to unfreeze. When you take an ice cube and you put it somewhere and leave it there, it doesn't become water immediately. It takes a bit of time. It slowly unfreezes. So it's the same thing with culture. Don't expect that because you have initiated culture, it's going to just pop and everyone will be on board. No, because these people, in fact, for me as a consultant, every time we are coming to your organization to do a change process, the one thing that we say is this organization has run for this number of years. Honestly, there has to be something that was working. So instead of focusing on the entire change process, we focus on this is what we have been working. Let us identify that and be very conscious of it. And then this is what has not been working. So how can we take what has been working to complement what has not been working and make it change slowly so that then you don't now get overwhelmed when it comes to change processes. And of course, sometimes it takes time. You know, of course, the balance between the numbers for the organization and the change process also affects. So we need to really be conscious about what is happening. Yeah. And yes, like Rebecca has said, it would also be helpful to identify change champions. And sometimes the change champions are not your managers. Sometimes they need to see other people change for them to change. I think that would be something to add. Mwenda, please give us your parting shot. Otherwise, we will be here the entire night.
You can hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
I would say, let me say this. I want to close with using the words of Alex Carroll. Alex Carroll said, to progress again, man must remake himself, and he cannot remake himself without suffering. To progress again, a man must remake himself, and by remaking himself, he must endure suffering. There are things in culture transformation, there are things that may have been taken as very good working. We are accustomed to this. We are used to this. This is how we have always done things. It is not easy to drop those things. There must be some sacrifices to be made. And that is where the challenge is. We must do this culture transformation matters incrementally. You don't come with the whole bucket and want to change everything incrementally. That way, you will be motivated by the small wins you're making. And for sure, corporate culture matters. How management chooses to treat its people impacts everything, either for better or for worse. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for that. And I think this is a conversation we want to continue. We are hoping to get a speaker for next week who will teach us now on how to actually do a culture audit, because now we understand the culture of productivity. And Mwenda, you have done an amazing job. Thank you so much. So I think next week we're probably going to have a follow-up session and have a speaker who will support us in doing a culture audit. And then probably even defining the culture, because I know there are 4 types of cultures that we have in organizations. So maybe we need to also highlight that. But thank you very much, Mwenda, for your support and for being here. You're very knowledgeable of this subject, and thank you for not killing us by PowerPoint. Your PowerPoint presentations was really amazing. So for those of you who have joined us, our audience, we really appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you for supporting. And I hope that you will be here again next Tuesday as we continue with these conversations around demystifying issues that affect employers and employees. Oh my God, today I did not recognize Catherine Sidandi. I'm sorry, Catherine. Catherine Sidandi is our sign language interpreter. Thank you very much for being here, Catherine. Aki, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened at the beginning. I normally introduce at the beginning. But Catherine, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. Please join us on 8th of August, when we will be having a session on contract management, which will be only for 2,800, and it will be a virtual session for 3 hours. And you will get to have one CPD point and also take off with a certificate as well. And then please follow us on Instagram. We are called Atara Solutions. Like our Facebook page, Atara Solutions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get it right with Atara Solutions. And then join our WhatsApp group. I think it had been shared, the link. Get it right with Atara Solutions. So let's keep learning together. Let's keep getting it right every Tuesday here and in our organization. So I hope that you have learned something. We are going to share the recording, and you can actually be able to refer for your implementation and to be able to also understand it better at your pace. So asanteni sana. Mwenda, we appreciate you. Our partners, thank you very much. Our audience, asanteni sana. Catherine Sidandi, thank you very much. Herbert Zake and Team Uganda, thank you very much. Team Rwanda, thank you very much as well. We really appreciate you. Asanteni sana. Have yourselves a lovely night. See you next week, same time, same place.
Thank you very much.